So today on Idiots Go Running, we have Donald. Say hello, Donald.
Hello, idiots.
On our show, we've got a guest who likes to run. Do they really? Do they jog around the place just for fun? That's not fun. Are they a professional athlete? Nope. Lining at the start with the elite? It don't matter. We've got a guest on our show because we asked and they didn't say no. It don't matter because our show has a guest. It does. Pretty much because we asked and they said yes.
It's just idiot today, Donald. How are you?
No, not too bad. I'm a bit worried when I see only one idiot here because that means Andrew might have a very tricky question.
Oh, yes, I have warned you about Andrew's very, very tricky question. And you know what? It's not tricky. It's not maths. We're not going to test you. We don't give grades. Nothing like that. We just expect some form of creative thinking behind it. Well, Donald, how are you?
I'm not too bad. Thank you. Yourself?
I'm good. So you're on the show today because we first met at an aid station on the NI 100 by We Run Wild NI. And actually, we probably met before that, did we?
Yeah, I think we met at the start line, but I'd first come across the podcast when you interviewed Julian and Gary, the organisers for We Run Wild. Sorry, my dog is trying to join in the podcast here. Say hello,
it's
Holly.
Okay.
So yeah, I heard you and Andrew were signed up to do the Northern Ireland 100 last year, and I felt like I was meeting celebrities when I bumped into you at the start at Ballintoy, and then sort of later on at the first big aid station, and yeah, just been listening into the podcast since then. It's all good fun, and looking forward to this year's Northern Ireland 100 as well, which as we speak is coming up.
Yeah, Donald, me too. It is coming up this weekend. At the point of this recording, we are recording this before the NI 100 race, so hopefully we'll still be alive after this. We stopped at the aid station and we chatted at the start, and thanks for saying we're kind of celebrities. I had a previous guest said it's the only podcast that they actually subscribe to. He goes, I've got one big celebrity in Ireland that I love, and it's Bono, and I feel like I'm talking to someone of Bono level. And I was kind of going, you're having a laugh. My face is just lit up. So, Donald, you're talking to someone on the same level as Bono here. But we stopped and we chatted in the aid station. And Andrew gave off to me because I spent, how long do we chat for? Maybe 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, it's too long anyway. It's I was just working my way through the food tables there. So yeah, raising round. It's plan for this year will certainly be to spend a little less time in the aid stations. Yeah.
I'm the same. So just be advised that when I see you at the aid station, I'm not going to be rude. I'm just going to walk past you because if I start talking to you, Donald, you will take my time. I'll probably miss cut off. But anyway, tell us a bit about your background, your running story, how you got into running. Just Donald's running history. Go for it.
Okay, well, I did a bit of running at school, cross-country and stuff, and then after university, moved to London, was working there for a few years, and played a lot of football, did a little bit of running, but eventually moved back to Northern Ireland, and still playing football. I reckon that reasonably fit, did the occasional run, but I signed up to do a relay leg in the Belfast Marathon in 2006, and I thought, well, the leg I'm doing is about 10k, so that shouldn't be too bad. I'm running for 90 minutes on a Saturday, so 10k will be a bit of a breeze. I completely forgot that of course, when I play football, you sprint, you walk, you jog backwards. Long before Garmin's or Strava or anything to map routes, I drove a little loop from the house in the car and measured it. It's just over 3 miles. I thought, well, there's 5k. So if I do this twice, and the first hill I came to about 1.5 miles into it, I was walking. And it just it slipped my mind that running a steady 10k is not the same as playing football. So for about 6 weeks, just built up to being able to get to around about 10k level. Really enjoyed being part of Belfast Marathon. One of my friends told me, well, if you really enjoyed that, the Lisburn Half Marathon is coming up next month. It's just over twice the distance you've run there. That'll be fun. So I thought, enter Lisburn as well. So ran the Lisburn half marathon, got around it in a little over 2 hours, which I was more than happy with. I remember driving back to Bangor afterwards. My legs just completely seized up by the time I got home. I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to swing my legs out of the car here or climb the stairs, 2 steps to the front door and go up the stairs inside. Kind of got me running so longer and further, and eventually signed up to do the Dublin Marathon at the end of 2006, and figured that, well, I could probably do Belfast a little bit faster than Dublin, the following year, and that's been the pattern since. So lots of marathons, ultras, especially trail stuff. It's where I really enjoy getting off road. So the Northern Ireland Ultra is definitely one of my favourite races. This will be my third year of the 4 years it's been running.
Oh, so you're going to get something special in this one, are you?
Well, I saw the bling that the 3-time finishers got last year, so
you had to sign up again. So 2006. So if you don't mind me asking, like, what year did you start running, or what age were you when you started running?
2006. I was 35, 36 by the time I did the Dublin Marathon, and yeah, that was so I was playing football a lot at the time, but I still thought I could take a knock at training or during a match, and I'd be good again for next week. And you suddenly realizing that it's taking longer to recover, and so the running was partly rehab from the knocks and injuries I was picking up at football. So and then just carried on at it for the last 19 odd years.
Brilliant. So running, you used running as rehab. That's a first on the show that someone's actually used running as a recovery. Usually it's the opposite. Usually you stop running to recover to get your next run. We were chatting before the show and you mentioned something to me. Ask me about my first 100-mile under 24 hours attempt. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. In I think it was 2017, the World's 24-hour Championships were held in Belfast and Victoria Park, and alongside all the elite runners there, they had an open race. And I thought, 24 hours, I really, really want to do 100 miles in there. That's the goal, to have a 100 miles in under 24 hours. The Garmin I had, wouldn't last for that long, and it wasn't one that you could charge as you're running. They'd had some data exports to a big screen from the chip timing. So every time you crossed the line, it would tell you'd done 67 laps. Your last lap was whatever. So you knew your race distance. That packed in the middle of the night. I had no idea how far I'd run until sort of later on in the morning when they got everything working again. I did remember one stage posing for selfies with a group of folks from my triathlon club. It's cycled up to watch about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I probably spent a couple of minutes having a laugh with some of the guys, taking photographs. Anyway, ran on round. The hooter finally went off at 12 o'clock. The races stopped, and all I could see a little bit up the track from where I was the post with a marker for 100 miles on it, which whenever you passed, you reached, I don't know, it's either just over a mile or just under a mile around there. So it's 98 or 99 laps or 101, 102 would get you to the 100 miles. But I knew I just wasn't quite at that post. So I hoped that I must have passed that beforehand. The results came out later on that day, and I had run 99.87 miles. That stung a bit. I know obviously that's like measuring the course, taking all the inside racing lines. So realistically, I probably did go over 100 miles, but the records will forever show that 24 hours I was 0.13. I can look out my window here and see a lamppost that's about 0.13 miles away.
Oh, Donald. So, now that is, so when we were chatting before, you told me the distance, so I knew what was coming. What I didn't know was you stopped and chatted and got selfies. Selfies?
Yeah.
Like, if there's one way to learning the hard way, I suppose runners do learn the hard way. And it's fair to say that You learned the hard way there, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's that one rankled for a while. So
What
yeah,
is it?
it took a while before I came back and got my my 100 miles, but in under
It's a
24. But yeah,
it's a brilliant running story. And like I say, I get people on the show, and I love hearing their running stories, whether they be good, whether they be bad, or in your case, I suppose it's good, bad, and funny all rolled into
yeah.
one.
Well, I guess now, about 8 years on, I can
Yeah.
laugh about it a bit more than I did then.
How did you
Um,
feel? How did you feel like that night going to bed and the next day when you woke up and you went into work and you were chatting to people and they said, "Well, how did your race go? Did you achieve it?" Like, how did you feel?
you kind of go, well, I ran for 24 hours. I kept going. And I'd been quite disciplined. I wasn't stopping because you're running laps. It's not like the ultra
Yeah.
is where we met last year, and you're carrying kit with you and you're reaching aid stations there because we're passing it's a club tent. I was able to say to
Yeah.
clubbies on it, yeah, next time I come round, grab me a new T-shirt out of my bag or take a drink or something to eat. Coming back after, I was going, yeah, I did everything else right apart from make sure I covered the distance. So yeah, stopping for selfies on a on a run if you're chasing a
Aye.
time is not the way to go.
And so you've been running now for a fair few years. What's your numbers and how many marathons, ultras have you done?
The one coming up this weekend will be sort of marathon or ultra marathon number 169. So the last one was Belfast, where I was a 4:30 pacer. Good fun. I wasn't going to be chasing a PB there, so pacing is a great way to to run around. And
What was the people around you like? Was it good fun being a pacer? Did you give them a tour of Belfast? Did you show them the wonderful sights that you're passing?
yeah, we would try and chat to the folks that were going round. There's always a lot of chat for the first 3 or 4 miles, and then it starts to ease off
Get
a bit as we
serious?
go along. Yeah, and later on, so you try to kind of show, as you pass mile markers or watch buzzers for kilometers. Yeah, that's 10K done. We're going really well. We're about 30 seconds ahead of where we need to be, or a minute or so up. Everybody feeling good, and the start is yay, and as it goes on, people, you just get the grunts and folks go on. But yeah, because we usually pace at a speed that's comfortable for us to run and talk to and chat to people. So we try and be encouraging of the other runners round about us, and kind of we're checking our watches all the time, so they don't have to. They can just concentrate on the run and look around them, taking the scenery.
Yeah, this was the first year, Donald, that I actually followed a pacer the whole way. And do you know what? It was brilliant. I caught up to them, and then I thought I'm just going to stick with the pacer. In previous years, I'd run past the pacer and keep an eye on my own watch. But this year, I decided in Belfast Marathon, I decided to run with the pacer. And do you know what? It was actually good crack. It was brilliant. It was brilliant because you don't have to worry about time, worry about your watch. All I focused on was what gel I was taking and, what I was getting enough liquid. And the pacers are class. Would you recommend being a pacer to people?
Absolutely, yeah. It's always good fun, when you're doing that, because a lot of the local races, even at 10K, sort of half marathon stuff, will have pacers as well, and it just helps people who are chasing a goal time to stick with more experienced runners who will run a steady pace and and get them to that time. Yourself when you're running, if you're constantly having to look at your watch and start making adjustments, I need to speed up the next couple of miles or just ease it back a bit. When you're following a pacer, you can do that. And we got lots of great feedback from other runners around about, especially people are getting a PB or getting their sort of goal time for their first marathon. So yeah, it's rewarding.
Donald, you also get a brilliant photo of jumping in the air, don't you?
Yeah, it's currently a profile photo on my Facebook page, but a couple of years ago, when I was pacing, one of my friends was out on the course, and I saw him and sort of jumped up, and they got a really good photo. And I knew where it was going to be this year, and so I did say to the pacer group I was with, guys, I'm going to do something really, really stupid here, potentially race ending. Don't do what I do.
Yeah.
They always say, listen to your pacer, but here it's, right, pacer is going to do something really, really daft, jumping up in the air and...
You should have actually choreographed that and got them all to do it. Then you would have made pacer legend history. Now you may have lost a few along the way, but
probably lost a few dodgy landings there, and
I think it'd be worth it. And if anybody's listened to us in the audio podcast world, I'm going to throw the picture up here, Donald, so everybody can see your nice, beautiful jump, and it looks brilliant. Honestly, Donald, it's brilliant being a pacer. But we're kind of at the stage of the show where you kind of hinted at the beginning. So Andrew doesn't come on our guest podcasts because he's busy and he's other things to do other than running. He just turns up the events and just has fun, okay? So on our podcast, he loves to ask questions, and he has got a brilliant question for you. I text you going, Donald, this is coming your way. It's a brilliant question. Are you ready for it?
I'm more nervous about this than I am about the Ultra this weekend, but go for it, Andrew.
You have a fantastic beard and long flowing locks of hair. Would you ever enter a marathon called the Clean Shave Marathon? You line up at the start line and they shave every inch of hair on your head, apart from your eyebrows. You can keep your eyebrows. If you finish, you get a medal made out of your own hair. Now, I know that doesn't sound too fantastic, but the medal is so spectacular, friends and family will flow to your house just to look at this marathon medal. Tell me, would you enter this once-in-a-lifetime clean shave marathon? If not, why not? And if so, why so?
Oh, I think I'd have to do that one, for some unique bling. I can always grow this back, over the next 5 or 6 years. I did notice when I was listening to the commentary after the Belfast Marathon, there was one point where the camera was following me around, and there was some discussion about whether the beard would slow me down and would create a bit of drag. I would enter that one, but that's about the only reason I would have to have a shave, just for that spectacular bling.
That would be, because Andrew sent me this question, and I thought, oof, like, you've been growing your beard for how long now, Donald? Give us an estimate, roughly.
I've had a fairly short beard on and off over the years, but since about lockdown, when all the barbers closed, started growing my hair, and then just kept the beard going, and I just don't actually need to be turning up clean shaven and smart and working Monday to Friday 9 to 5 anymore. So I thought this is I can get away with this now.
It is something spectacular, and that medal, like, my medal would be tiny if I was to enter that competition. Your medal would be quite sizably bigger than my medal due to the amount of usable material. But like, so you're now set up that you could probably enter, or you could probably go to Game of Thrones, some Viking TV show. Like, the opportunities now for you, Donald, are endless.
I've actually done a little bit of that over the last year.
Explain, go for it, explain.
Well, I knew I'd really made it when I ended up on favourite local programmes, Hope Street. But I spent last summer involved with another production that'll be coming up. So in 2026, the beard and the long hair was kind of key to me getting a part in that. So I could be limiting myself if I did shave this off. But I could be spending hours in hair and makeup having all this stuck back together again. They might have to take the medal apart. I've got it all here.
I just need this reapplied. So. Right, I'm not going to go into details because obviously you have entered into a NDA that you can't say anything. But will your face be on TV?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So hold on. We started this show saying you were talking to Bono. It appears I am talking to, I don't know, pick an actor. Who would you compare yourself to as an actor, Donald? If you were to say, I'm like this actor, who would it be?
I'm trying to think of any actors with beards at the moment. I did get confused one time when I was doing Belfast Marathon many years ago when I was clean shaven. Somebody thought I was Ewan McGregor. So,
wow, that's a good one.
I thought, I'll take that. They genuinely thought, there's Ewan McGregor going up there. There's a Scottish guy running up the Antrim Road. That must be him. I must have had a bit of a a look, but you can't see it anymore. It's all hidden behind hair and beard.
Yeah. Do you know what? Now that you say that, I can actually see a bit of Ewan McGregor through this. And if anybody is on the audio world, flick back in. We're not talking to Ewan McGregor, we're talking to Donald. Where do we go from here, Donald? What does the future look like for you? So, other big races that you've entered, or like what's next on your plans after this weekend NI 100?
Well, the next one is Berlin Ultra, the Berlin Wall 100 miler. It follows the route of the Berlin Wall, and excuse me, I actually heard about that one running on a last one standing race years ago with Gillian and Gary, and Gillian was either not long back or was just about to head back out to do the Berlin Wall, and it was one of these that I just thought, wow, this sounds absolutely fantastic, following the route of the wall through the city and the countryside round about, and they reverse the direction of it every year. So I went out last year, have to sign up and come back again and do it once more. So running in the opposite direction. But yeah, it's one of these races. One of the things I love when I'm out, especially in ultras, you have the most random chats with people, and you find out about some amazing events they've done, and a few of them you can go, yeah, I'm sticking that on the list of things I have to do.
Brilliant.
We headed out to Berlin last year and did that. So my goal there was really to make sure I did this 100 miler in under 24 hours, and ended up having to pick the pace up a little bit at the end, to slightly uncomfortable levels, but 23 hours and 58 minutes. So
wow.
So that was cutting it fine. So that's the goal for this year, in the opposite direction. Do
you know if it's easier in the opposite direction, or would it be harder in the opposite direction, or just exactly the same?
I'm not sure. A lot of it's coming out to the city through trails. Last year, we ran sort of coming back into Berlin and past Brandenburg Gate, Checkpoint Charlie, and all this iconic sites. It's about 4:00 in the morning. So, so it's sort of coming back through the city, and you're passing all these people coming out of, bars and clubs, and they're sort of all dressed up for a night out, looking at you as if you're completely, what's this guy doing in shorts and t-shirt and a small backpack running through the city,
Yeah.
So that was
I'm sure they're going, what's Ewan McGregor doing in the middle of Berlin at this time? Maybe shitting for a new movie or something. But so is it pretty much flat then, the Berlin one?
It's fairly flat. There's a few climbs, and you're out in sort of running through forest at various stages. So it's just one of these epic races. You guys would love it. Can't recommend it enough. But lots of aid stations there, and it's so well organized, as you expect from Germans. But every aid station you come to, there's something that tells you it's 7.2 kilometers to the next aid station, and 136 kilometers to the finish. But you're able just to grab a food and drink and go there. It wasn't like some aid stations in our race where you'd come inside and sit down and sort of keep out.
Yeah.
There you just kind of grabbed stuff and kept going.
And did you get Frankfurters? Did they do Frankfurters at aid stations?
They didn't. No, the highlight of the aid stations actually was cold potatoes.
Cold potatoes.
Cold boiled potatoes and a bit of salt. Lots of fruit and stuff as well. But I was just going, that's just get some carbs in, and it's fantastic. And there was an isotonic fizzy grapefruit drink, which I wish I'd taken a picture of so I could see if I could get it here. But I'm gonna look out for that again in August, and try and stock up on it and bring as much as I can home, or find a supplier in Northern Ireland. They always say never try anything new during a race, and you kind of go, a fizzy grapefruit drink, the best thing I've ever had. They had at aid stations later on as well. They had alcoholic and non-alcoholic beer. I did take one non-alcoholic beer. It's about 3:00 in the morning, just to a taste of something different. But starting drinking beer was probably a fairly poor decision. But,
well, I don't know. It's a Germans, it's beer. See, I was expecting aid stations in this 100-mile one. I have this I have this vision in my head of you come across, and there's one aid station that has Schnitzel, Frankfurters, and some, big beer glasses that are the size of maybe my head. And yeah, now I obviously I don't drink, but do you know what? After a run, there's one thing I love is a non-alcoholic beer. Because apparently they're isotonic. Is that right?
I think so. I have to say, there's nothing better than finishing some long run and just having a cold beer, but you're able to drive home afterwards. So yeah, that's the non-alcoholic one just this goes down so nicely at the end of a run.
It does. It does. There is something very, very nice. So that's the Berlin 100 mile, and just as we're coming to a close, Donald, right? I kind of ask a lot of people this going, have you got anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to tell people? It can be about running. It could be about life. It could be about experience. Putting you on the spot. Go for it, Donald. Give us Donald's wisdom.
My wisdom? My goodness. Got slim pickings there. But yeah, the main thing is, I always tell people, obviously some people are training to win races, and we have the elites. For the rest of us are just looking to chase PBs and things. I think one of the things we always have to do is put something back into running, and whether that's volunteering at park runs or pacing at a marathon or something, rather than chasing your own time. There's a lot comes back from that side of things. So I always enjoy sticking on a pink high vis on a Saturday morning at my local park run and seeing folks run around, get their PBs and do all the stuff there. So yeah, I guess the main thing is don't always run and chase times. Go out and and run and enjoy the scenery, enjoy being out where you are and the people you're with, and and volunteer once in a while too.
And last bit of advice I would say, Donald, don't stop for selfies too often, okay?
No, absolutely. No, don't. Not if you're chasing a time and you don't actually have a watch or anything, so you don't know, what your time and distance is. So yeah, if I ignore you or you ignore me at a race this weekend,
it's not personal.
Yeah, it's not personal. We'll chat at the start and at the end, but only if we're both making progress through the race, not during the aid stations.
Donald, thank you so much for coming on today and having a chat to me and answering Andrew's stupid question. And I hope you've enjoyed it. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
That's awesome, great fun.
Talk to you soon. See you soon.